Good morning, everyone. How are you doing today? Tony's still sleeping, yeah. It is pretty early here. How's everyone doing today? Who we got in the chat? Gen X Toys Geek, Jody, how are you? Michael Schaefer, Kieran Ball, Patton, George Aitken, Lucas Petty, That American Kid, how are you? Awesome. 36 people in the chat already and 24 likes. Cool. Yeah, very early in the morning for me. I got up at 3:45. But I don't mind because you guys seem to like this time slot. I think the last one I did, the impromptu live stream I did last week about Migo's World's Greatest Superheroes, I think the time slot was really well received by everyone. Yeah. Vintage Toy Rush, Keith Holmesley, Alan Dawson, Chris Miwa. Excellent. King Eric the Great the First, Tony looks shattered. Yeah, I've got bags under my eyes today. And that's because I finished work yesterday. I got a few days off and probably shouldn't have had as many beers as I did last night. But Jody, thank you for the super chat. For finally putting a transformer on the table. Yeah, we'll talk about Megatron in a bit there, Jody. And Scuba Pete, thank you very much. He says, cheers for 20,000 subscribers. So yeah, guys, I really thought I was going to hit 20,000 last night before I went to bed. I was sort of eagerly watching it, and literally when I went to bed, it was 19,997. So I kind of knew this morning I was going to wake up to 20,000 subscribers, and I thought I'd make a Facebook post. But actually, a lot of you guys already knew. And Jody, thank you for the super chat, man. €20 for 20,000 subscribers. Thank you very much. Yeah, I thought I was gonna get up this morning and I did make a Facebook post, but a number of you had already reached out to me. You were putting stuff in the YouTube comments, the Patreon page. People were sending me messages and posts. Retroblasting shared my recent video and congratulated me on 20,000. So it was awesome, really awesome to wake up to that. Ed Wisebrod says, awesome shows, love Zargon, much better than the Intruder. Yeah, so these are my favourite villains, not just villains in general. So that's why I've got Zargon here and not the Intruder, because they're probably the only two Action Man villains in the whole line, and he's easily the best. That American Kid, I recently hit 50 subs on my personal channel. Not a huge number, but it's pretty great. Mate, I remember when I was only at 50 subs, so keep up the good work. And for anyone in the chat, if you haven't had a look already, head over and check out That American Kid's channel. Yep, lots of congratulations on the 20,000 subs. Thank you very much. I'd like to say a thank you to Retroblasting, because I was eventually going to reach 20,000 subs, but the way my audience tends to grow, it was probably not going to happen until sometime in June. But when I collaborated with them on Star Wars Follies, that really boosted my subscribers over the last week or so. I think I gained more than 500 subscribers from that one video. So thank you very much for the invite, and I really look forward to collaborating on many future videos, but particularly in other Star Wars Follies. So England says that me and Retroblasting are a perfect fit. Yeah, I think we work well together. Yeah, thanks guys. Before we get into the toys on the table, well, first of all, let me thank you all for making my latest video a real hit. that's doing great numbers. It's only been on YouTube for not even 12 hours. I think it'll be, I think it went public on YouTube at around 5 p.m. last night, my time, which is, it's coming up to 5 p.m., 5 a.m. here. So, yeah, thanks for making that video such a success. I put a lot of effort into that. It's funny. I keep a list of video ideas just in a Word document on my desktop on my Mac upstairs, and I've also got a notepad, and so I often write video ideas in there. Sometimes just titles. And that video idea has been on the list for a long, long time. And I thought, it's going to be a big video. It's going to be so hard to do. The script writing was going to be difficult. But I found that when I sat down and started working on it, I already knew what I wanted to say, and the script just flowed out. And I'm very, very happy with that video. And it's really good to see the way it's being received. So, Night of Ren says, Analog Toys is a sister channel to Retro Blasting in my eyes. They complement each other very nicely. Yeah, I would agree with that. Jody, so you just talked about my latest video in the Pally Boys live stream. I'll be checking that out right after this live stream. I've got all day ahead of me, guys. By the time this finishes, it'll be, 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. So, King Eric the Great the First, Tony, what time do you go to bed? Normally around 8:30, because I'm up earlier. I'm normally up at this time, but to host a live stream at 4:30, I actually need to get up about 3:45 and have a cup of tea and set some things up. But yeah, normally I'm up around 4:30, 5 o'clock, even when I don't have to work. When I have to work, I tend to get up about 4:45 in the morning. And I'm normally at work by sort of 5:30, 5:45, that kind of time. That American Kid, we got a 12-inch Cobra Commander outfit. Is that from the new 1/6 scale 80s and 90s G.I. Joe? No, it's not the 80s and 90s. This is a Sideshow Collectibles Cobra Commander that I picked up on a recent trip to Perth. I found it in a comic shop for a bargain price. It was about $85 US, when they normally go for, up to like 150, 160 US. So I was very pleased with that pickup. I did a bit of a video about it. If you haven't seen it, I did a review of this particular Cobra Commander figure. You can see that on the channel. Patton says Analog Toys is the best Action Man place on YouTube. Thank you very much. Shield Leaguer, hi Tony, Baron Ironblood is urine only. What? I don't understand that. Chris Meawer says, great setup on the table, Tony. I love the condition that Panther is in. Yeah, he's not too bad. He's lost a little bit of his flocking, but he's in pretty good nick. I'm pretty happy with him. And once again, much like last week, I was hoping to be able to open a box from Retro Blasting. Unfortunately, Michael, it still hasn't arrived. Don't get too stressed though. It's just that the postals. So within Australia, in this country, we have 7 states and 2 territories, and all of our interstate borders are closed. So mail is still getting through, but there aren't the same number of flights that there used to be. Like I cannot travel to Darwin or Sydney or Melbourne or Brisbane. We can't leave the state of Western Australia. That's how that's one of the controls that our government's put in place to contain the COVID-19 pandemic. So yeah, mail is. So for those of you who don't know, Michael at Retro Blasting has sent me a mystery box of sorts. He was hoping it would be here last week, and it hasn't arrived this week either. But it probably arrived in Australia a couple of weeks ago, and a lot of international mail, I believe, comes into Sydney, and then trying to get from Sydney to here, it can take ages. So it will get here in the end. I do have one item down here, though, that I purchased on eBay, and I will open that up towards the end of the stream. Ed usually says, since the lockdown, I go to sleep about 6 a.m. I set my alarm to catch this video. Oh, so you're a night owl, are you, Ed? You stay up all night and go to bed at 6 a.m. in the morning. That's cool. Patton, can you get the Mego Doctor Who toys? I'd love to, but they're very, very expensive. So, Rockin' Billy Boy says the postal guys are doing a pretty good job. They're very short on staff. Yes, yeah, I'm not. I'm certainly not knocking the postal workers here because they have limited means of moving mail around in this country with all the restricted flights. And also, since the lockdown, they say that online purchasing has gone up like, I don't know, 200 or 300%. They say that the amount of online purchasing that's been done in the last 2 months completely sort of blows out of the water the amount of online shopping that people do in the month leading up to Christmas. So, yes, they are absolutely swamped with mail at the moment. So, Keith Holmesley, Tony, if you came across the real Ghostbusters reissues, would you buy them? No, I personally wouldn't because I would really like to collect the originals. I'm not saying anything bad about them. I actually, from the photos I've seen, I think that that Hasbro's done. Was it Hasbro? I think has done a really really good job on those reissues of the Ghostbusters. So. Rob the Timekeeper. I never had Megatron as a kid, but I did have the generic version of Shockwave. I think I might have had Shockwave when I was a kid. I didn't have many Transformers. I had Megatron, I had Optimus Prime, and I had the Dinobot. Was it Slag? The Triceratops? Was that Slag? I think so. And yeah, I clearly remember having Slag when I was a kid. I don't even know what happened to it. I probably got lost or sold before I moved to Australia when I was 11. But I think I got that because Triceratops was my favourite dinosaur. I don't know. Wasn't the Megatron gun banned in most countries? I don't think so. I've never heard that before. SMCW says, "Who's your favourite wrestling villain?" I'm not huge into wrestling. Like I did when I came to Australia I came here in late '88, so probably in 1989. I had a friend who we became friends because of his love of G.I. Joe, a real American hero. That's how we became friends, my first friend at school. And he was a bit of a wrestling fan, and we did used to watch it. I think it used to be on Friday nights. And we would watch it together, and that was in the era, like the Ultimate Warrior and that kind of thing. But I don't know. I could probably throw out a name, and I don't even know if people would consider it a villain or not. I suppose it's a matter of perspective, isn't it? Yeah, nothing actually springs to mind. Although not exactly a villain, but I did always like Jake the Snake Roberts because my surname is Roberts. So, Keith Holmesley, is that Mumraz? I'm not a Thundercats fan. Not at all. Patton. Now, so you've asked me if I can get the Doctor Who toys. Now you're asking me if I can get the old Knight Rider toys. I can get a lot of stuff, but I have different focuses at the moment. I'm trying to complete my Action Force collection. I am trying to get some Ghostbusters. I only have one at the moment. I'm kind of keeping an eye out for those. But more specifically, I am collecting Masters of the Universe, the toys from 1983. So, yeah, I'm going to talk more about that a bit later on. Perhaps when I open this box down here, because I'm pretty sure that's a Masters of the Universe toy that I've purchased for myself. Ed Udley, in the USA, the gun is banned. That's why he's a tank. What, Megatron? No, this gun was available. I do believe that when this was sold in Japan, that it was actually like a pellet gun. It could fire pellets, and when they brought it into the US market, they took that feature out. I might have got that wrong, but Scuba Pete says, Tony, he's digging the Skeletron shirt. Yeah, I thought we're doing a villain live stream, and I thought, what shirt am I going to wear? And it was either this or my Skeletor shirt, and I opted for my Skeletron shirt. Love this shirt. Available on TeePublic if anyone wants to purchase one. Did they ever make any superhero outfits for Action Man? No, they didn't. Jody, Megatron became a tank in Generation 2 to give him more play value. Yes. Thanks, Jody. I'm certain that this particular toy wasn't banned in the States. This toy probably came from the States. Well, the packaging, anyway. Biker Scout 74 says, hi Tony, hope you're keeping well. Yes, I am. It's a really good day for me, man. I just hit 20,000 subs. So, oh, and I've got something to tell you guys in a minute. Apologies if this has been asked before, but what do you think of the new Hasbro G.I. Joe 6-inch line? I did a whole video on that, man, just after Toy Fair, so go and check out that video for my thoughts. But to sum it up in a nutshell, I was disappointed. King Eric the Great the First, were there any Australian wrestlers? There's been loads of Australian wrestlers, but I'm assuming you mean in the WWF or WWE. I don't know. As I'm not a wrestling guy. Brick Mantooth, congrats on 20,000 subscribers. That was fast. Thank you very much. And I hope your channel gets a lot of growth. Brick Mantooth, you dropped a video the other day, and for the life of me, I can't remember what it was, but as usual, I really enjoyed it. No, it might have been the comic action heroes exploding bridge playset. I'm not sure, but if anyone hasn't seen that, go and check it out on the Brick Mantooth YouTube channel. Rockin' Billy Boy says Palatoy did make a superhero outfit, Tony, the Parachute Regiment, and yeah, those guys are superheroes. AMW 1985, I'd love to see a Palatalk episode with Form BX257 and yourself. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. I hadn't thought of that, man. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll flick him a message and see if he's up for it. That would be cool. I would enjoy to sit down and have a chat with Kevin. He's been doing YouTube longer than many of us other channels that you guys talk about. You know, he was really a pioneer of this platform. So. Brick Mantooth, Brian, you're very welcome. Chris Mewa, congratulations, Analog Toys on the 20,000. Thank you very much. Okay, yeah, guys. So I've got something to tell you. So Prince Harry, who you met briefly in the last live stream, our new kitten. Well, we weren't supposed to get him until he was 8 weeks old and had his vaccinations, and prior to that, he had been with a cat foster mum, whatever you call it, who was looking after Prince Harry and his siblings. So we weren't supposed to pick it up until the 8-week vaccinations, but we spoke to the vet, and because we've got other cats and they know us, they let us grab Prince Harry a week early, which meant that Gracie had to take him for his 8-week vaccinations yesterday. And lo and behold, Prince Harry is not a boy, he's a girl. They told us it was a boy, and it turns out it's a girl. So now we have to rename Prince Harry to something more feminine. I'm not sure if we've fully locked it in, but I think we've just switched it to Harriet. We're not going to have a princess moniker at the start, but yeah, this cute little boy kitten that we've had for the last week and a bit, turns out it's a girl kitten. So, Princess Harriet. Yeah, no, I think we're just going to call it Harriet. I think we like that. So yeah, I don't think Gracie liked the Princess moniker as much as the Prince moniker. So yeah, I'm sure by the next live stream we will have figured it out, and I will confirm to you guys what we've actually called the cat. So Miss Kylie, is that a name suggestion there, Chris? Yeah, I actually wanted to call it Diana Prince, but Grace didn't like that either. So I've got something in my eye, man. My eyeball. Lady Harriet. Oh, yeah, oh, that's nice. I like that. Patton, can you make a live stream of Ron the Space Knight? No, I'm not going to do a live stream about Ron the Space Knight because when I do the live streams, I like to have more than just one toy on the table. But I am going to make a dedicated video about Ron the Space Knight, and I'm probably going to start writing the script today. The cat formerly known as Prince, yeah. Actually, you guys will see another short little video pop up later today. I just need to copy a link quickly. So I've been roped in by a few people at work to participate in in an annual event that we have here in Australia called the Push Up Challenge. It goes for 21 days. It started last Monday, so May 11th, and it runs through to May 31st. And through that 21-day period, we have to complete 3,046 push-ups. Or, I'm 43 years old. I think that amount of push-ups is going to kill me. But you are allowed to mix it up with push-ups, sit-ups, squats, and all that. So right now, my stomach muscles hurt, my legs hurt, although my arms are okay. So I'm participating in this challenge, and I filmed the short video yesterday or the day before. I've just got to get it edited together, with the intention of raising mental health awareness and as well as suicide prevention. So you'll learn a little bit more about it in the video. But if anyone would like to sponsor me on this, all the funds raised through the sponsorship go to a charity called Headspace, which is dedicated to mental health awareness. And the reason we're doing 3,046 push-ups is because that is how many people we lost to suicide in Australia last year. That's why that particular number was selected. So it works out to about 145 exercises per day for 3 weeks. Gracie's participating as well, so and I've got an action man figure who is basically watching me do my exercises to ensure I don't cheat. So if anyone would like to sponsor me on this, please don't feel obligated, but you can sponsor me from $1 up to $5, whatever you want to do. I have just dropped the link into the chat. Captain Beefcake says Fergie. Is that a name suggestion for the cat? I don't know. I think we like Harriet. King Eric the Great the First. Tony, you could do 3,000 push-ups in a day. If I put the effort in, I could probably do 3,000 push-ups in a day. And then the next day I'd get my tea and I wouldn't be able to get it to my mouth because my arms would be exhausted. John Baldry says, Tony, you're a stud. Okay. I think I was when I was in my 20s, man. I'm nearly 43 now. I'm a bit past it. Rob the Timekeeper says, who is the sombrero guy? Okay, I posted a thumbnail for this on the YouTube community page and someone asked me about this guy. So this here is called El Lobo. He is from the 1970s Gabriel Lone Ranger toy line. And El Lobo, I believe, was a European exclusive. It was not available in the United States. Obviously, the most well-known villain from the Lone Ranger franchise is Butch Cavendish, which I have. But this is not only my favourite villain in the Lone Ranger toy line, but just one of my favourite figures in general in that toy line. I think El Lobo looks fantastic. The sombrero that he's wearing was taken from a smaller set. I love the fact that he's got little gold spurs on his boots. Can you guys see those? Yeah, very not easy to acquire. One of the hardest figures to get in the line. Or probably him and Tex Dawson are the most difficult figures in the line to collect. But yeah, a great figure, a great villain. That's El Lobo. And yes, Kevin, that is a badass pair of flares there. It's Ron Burgundy in inappropriate dress. Yeah. Alan Dawson says El Lobo is Spanish for the wolf. Yep. Does his hat come off? Yeah, his hat comes off. He's also got a very... Look at that haircut, man. I think I had a haircut like that when I was a kid. So that's El Lobo. Right. Oh, Jody, thank you very much, man. Jody's just sponsored me on the website. Hashtag push for better. Thank you very much, man. Yeah, if anyone else would like to sponsor me, please don't feel obligated, but it's for a great cause. I'm just going to give you another sort of quick fact here, is that they say that the leading cause of death in Australia for people aged 15 to 30 is suicide, and that's really something I'm going to try my hardest over the next 21 days to do my bit and raise some awareness and raise some funds for a fantastic organisation called Headspace. So. Who is the dark-looking figure behind El Lobo? Let's move El Lobo out of the way. You mean this guy? Who's this guy? This is Captain Zargon. And if you watch this channel, you should pretty much know who this is. I've done a number of videos about Captain Zargon. So Captain Zargon was the enemy of the Action Man Space Rangers. He was designed by a Palitoy designer named Greg Hughes, which I eventually, I've actually been able to get in touch, or actually Greg Hughes got in touch with me, trying to think when it was, before Christmas, but within the last 6 months, and we now speak. In fact, Greg Hughes often, after I do the live streams, will flick me an email the following day, and some of the discussion topics, he might give me a few tidbits of information from the Palitoy perspective, and it's really nice to be able to connect with a Palitoy designer who had such an amazing influence on some of the favourite toys of my childhood. And Greg Hughes designed Captain Zargon. He sculpted the head for it, look up a video on my channel called The Action Man Designs of Greg Hughes. So that's Captain Zargon. An excellent villain figure. Clearly inspired by Darth Vader, I think, but... Bernard Holmes, I know not your era, but have you ever looked into the original Battlestar Galactica or Black Hole line? I would love a quality production video for them on YouTube. No, I'm not going to collect Black Hole, because not only would I need to remortgage the house to be able to buy those toys, I just don't have any interest in them. Battlestar Galactica, on the other hand, I potentially would. And actually, I got a mystery box a long time ago from Toy Polloi, and there was actually a couple of Battlestar Galactica figures in there, so I do have a couple. I would like to do a video on Battlestar Galactica one day. I did watch that show when never had the toys when I was a kid, but I did watch the show. So yeah. Damn. That went down the wrong hole, sorry. Scuba Pete, can we see his box? Yeah, man. So some amazing artwork on the front, which I want to say is Dave Barnacle artwork, but I don't know for certain. It could be Greg Hughes artwork. Dave Barnacle did a lot of these other key figure type boxes. On the side there, we've got some advertisements for some other Space Ranger accessory sets. On this side, not just Space Rangers, some adverts for, what have we got on there? The Soldier and the Frogman. And then I like this on the back. We've got another image there of Captain Zargon, and it's also pointing out all the features on the figure, all the accessories and that kind of thing. So the armor-plated gauntlets, the gripping hands, the printed circuitry on his thighs, a laser sword. Not a lightsaber, it's a laser sword. Yes, it is an awesome box. I've had that in the collection for a number of years. I've probably had that for 20 years now, I want to say. Who's this Neil Robinson fella everyone's talking about? If he's annoying people, Tim, just get rid of him. John Kenny, did you never think people might think an ex-military man with his own private army and many pet cats sitting at a computer wouldn't sound like a villain? Oh yeah, I should have King George here stroking him. Maybe wear an eye patch or something. Yeah, Jody, somehow I haven't seen him either. I don't know what's going on here. Yeah, apologies guys if there's someone in the chat but who's annoying you, but I can't see him either, and it seems like neither can Tim, so maybe someone's taken trolling to a new level and has figured out a way. He's blocked me and Tim. I don't know how they can do that on YouTube, how someone can block me but then comment in my chat. Anyway, let's just choose to ignore the troll. I don't even know why he's trolling on my live stream. If he's blocked me and I can't see him, then yeah. Where was I up to? I'm going to ask you guys something now. Let's see the audience reaction to this. So I woke up, as I said, early this morning. I was very excited to hit 20,000 subscribers. I don't want to keep banging on about that. I'm not bragging. I was just very happy about it. And I made a cup of tea and I went and sat down with my computer, and like I do pretty much every morning, the first thing I do is go in and check the stats on the channel. I look at all the comments, review the comments, reply to some of the comments. And then the Facebook and the Patreon, and there was so I was going through a lot of the comments this morning were obviously from the recent video that only dropped like 12 hours ago. And there was a lot of comments on that video, very, very positive comments. So once again, I appreciate all of you guys helping to make that video the very quick success that it's become. I'm very happy with that video. And as I was going through the comments, there was also a comment on my top 10 Cobra action figures. So I did a top 10 G.I. Joe figures video, and then for Cobra Convergence, I think last year, I did a top 10 Cobra action figures video. And a guy left a comment on that video, and it's not the first time I've received this comment. Now, Storm Shadow, I think, came in at like number 3 or something like that, and Firefly came in at number 1. And I believe I mentioned in the video that one of the reasons for me personally that Storm Shadow didn't make the number 1 spot, and actually I don't have Storm Shadow here, but I've got Firefly, my favourite Cobra villain, next to Cobra Commander. I think I mentioned when I talked about the Storm Shadow figure that one of the reasons for me that he didn't quite make the top slot is, although it's an awesome character, the original version 1 figure of Storm Shadow I felt was a bit of a letdown. I wasn't a huge fan of the head sculpt. Now the comment that this guy left, I'm not going to be able to, I'm paraphrasing, is that Storm Shadow version 1 and Firefly have the same head sculpt. So how can I complain about Storm Shadow's head sculpt, but then make Firefly number 1? Jody, thank you for the super chat. Just Cause Mark 1. So guys, do you think that Storm Shadow version 1 and Firefly have the same head sculpt? What are we saying here? Because the Night Badger, no. Zavaris, no. Lucas Petty, no. King Eric the Great, no. That's right, they don't. And oh, I like that, Chris Mewa. So Chris Mewa says Firefly is a real villain. Storm Shadow still has some honour. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, so no, they don't have the same head sculpt. All right, the fact that they, yeah, no. If anyone actually wants to take a decent look, they clearly don't. Michael French actually sent me a photo that easily demonstrates this, and I believe he's going to put it on the Retro Blasting community page, so go and have a look at that afterwards. But I think I may have said to him that we both know that they don't have the same head sculpts, and knowing is half the... And I thought, no, I'm not even going to say battle, because some troll will jump on and tell me that I got that wrong too. So, yeah, it's just interesting. I just thought I'd bring that up because he's not the first guy to say that. That video's been out for close to a year, and I've had that comment a number of times. Captain Jack says, I love this channel. And I love comments like that, Captain Jack. I appreciate that, man. How's everyone doing in lockdown? The Night Badger says, always love Storm Shadow version 1. Agree it looks odd. Even passed on version 2 because it wasn't the version 1 I really wanted. I actually prefer version 2. Maybe because I didn't have version 1 when I was a kid. Version 1, the Storm Shadow, was released twice in the UK. It was released as part of Palatoy's Action Force repackaging, but then when Hasbro brought out Action Force International Heroes, which copied the packaging design and the card art from G.I. Joe Real American Hero, when that toy line launched in the UK in 1987, Storm Shadow version 1 was part of the lineup, and that year, 1987, from between birthday presents and Christmas presents and pocket money, I got every single figure in the line except for Storm Shadow version 1. So I never had it when I was a kid, but I did get Storm Shadow version 2 my first year that I was living in Australia. I think first or second year anyway. King Eric the Great the First, thank you for the super chat. Said towards the press ups or toys. I don't know. Maybe the toys, eh? I've actually sort of sponsored myself. I've made a donation to Headspace as well. So I love version 2. I think he's talking about Storm Shadow here. I love version 2, but when I finally got version 1, I was kind of disappointed. Yeah, I thought the accessories were really cool, and it is a cool figure for me. It's just the head sculpt that lets it down. It's got a ugly, quite big head. Biker Scout 74 is asking if George Aitken is in Scotland. Yes, he is. In a classified location. Captain Beefcake says, I got my Z-Force battle tank out this week. My Z-Force battle tank is sitting on top of the printer next to my computer. I'm trying to find somewhere to put it. John Kenny said, did anyone worry about the trigger on Megatron where it turned up? You're talking about when he transforms. Yeah, the trigger's in a very strange position. I don't know what's going on this morning. I'm getting confused. Between you and Retro Blasting are the best vintage action figure and culture channels. And what no love for the glow in the dark version 2 Storm Shadow. Glow in the dark Storm Shadow. I didn't even know there was one. Gen X Toys Geek is starting a trace on George Aitken. Now I want to know what that classified location is. It's the Action Force headquarters, man. You're not going to find out. That's where George is. Thank you very much, George. Appreciate that. Scuba Pete says, Tony, love the play sets. Now out of their boxes sitting on your shelves. Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, I sort of showcased that in a recent video. Yeah, I've put all the boxes into storage and actually got all the toys out. It makes dusting a nightmare, but it makes for a better toy display, actually seeing the toys and the box. I'd love to be able to display both, but I just don't have the room. AMW 1985 says, do you have any more Green Wolf gear items since your last video? No, I don't. I've only got that one figure. Michael Schaefer says, Tony, set them free. Yes. Set the toys free from the packaging. Alright, what haven't we talked about yet? Because about 45 minutes into the stream, or 41 minutes into the stream, and we've still got a lot of toys to talk about. So I've got Megatron here. Now, I've only ever done one video on Transformers. Anyone who's seen that will know that I'm not a huge fan. I hope I clarified it well in the video, but I have more of an issue with the cartoon mythology than I do the actual. I think the actual toys are pretty cool. They're quite. Some of them are quite fragile. The Generation 1 stuff. But I loved this particular toy when I was a kid. Absolutely loved Megatron. Unfortunately, I never turned him into a robot. The reason I loved this toy is, for me, this was like a James Bond gun with all the different attachments, and it was one of my favourite toy guns when I was a child. So that's why I have a very real soft spot for Megatron. So from Transformers, I mean, Megatron, he's clearly the best villain from Transformers. Well, I think he is. A couple of easy picks down here. We got Darth Vader and Baron Ironblood from the Action Force. The Romulan guy, yeah, the Romulan guy looks cool. So this Romulan, this is one of the Mego reissues. This is a licensed reproduction from Mego. Came out a year or two ago. I purchased this because I wanted to feature a Romulan in my Mego Star Trek video. Unfortunately, when I filmed that video, I lost his phaser pistol somewhere. It may be inside the Mego Enterprise playset or something. I don't know. I'm sure it will turn up, but when you're moving the toys around, making videos, occasionally that happens. I'm not too concerned because, it's not... If it was a vintage figure, it was a vintage accessory, I'd be a bit more worried. But yeah, the Romulan, that's just the coolest looking villain from Star Trek. So that's why I decided to pick him and put him on the table. Yes, George Aitken, Baron Ironblood and Cobra Commander are the same character here in the UK. And what George means by that is that in the Action Force mythology from the Battle Action Force comics, is that Baron Ironblood becomes Cobra Commander later into the storyline. Night of Ren says, Soundwave is my favourite Transformers villain, but Megatron is cool. Yeah, Soundwave is... he's definitely up there with Megatron, definitely. Yes, Ed, the Megatron gun also looks like the gun from The Man from U.N.C.L.E., yes. How much would the Skeletor sell for resale on eBay? About $40 US if it's complete, in good condition. I'm not... I think so. Well, here in Australia, they go for like 50, 60. I mean, the prices of them are certainly going up. But yeah, let's talk about Skeletor. So Skeletor is probably the best. Well, he is easily the best villain from Masters of the Universe. Probably one of the best villains of the 80s, really. An awesome villain. But I've got like a consolation choice for the Masters of the Universe. And that's Trapjaw. I'm not going to say he's the best villain, but he's just my favourite action figure from that line. Absolute favourite action figure. I love Trapjaw. Biker Scout 74. I had almost every Action Force figure and vehicle as a child. All sold when I became a teenager. Huge regret, but I plan to get back into it in the future. Will be pricey. Some of it is pricey and some of it's very reasonably priced, some Action Force stuff. So you can start off your collection quite reasonably. So thanks, Tony, for all your information on Action Force. You're very welcome. And Action Force Part 4 will be coming pretty soon. Just get it into the schedule somewhere. I've got everything I need. Once again, some awesome contributions from Bob Breakin for the particular video. I just need to get the script written and get it filmed. So maybe that'll be next weekend's job. Yeah, actually, I'm going to lock that in. I'm going to get filming Action Force Part 4 next weekend, which means you guys will probably have it in about within the next 2 weeks. Yeah, so Trapjaw is definitely my favourite action figure. Not just even from the bad guys, just my favourite action figure from Masters of the Universe. I love that figure. So I put the Joker here. The Joker is one of my all-time favourite villains, never mind toys. I like the Killing Joke comic. I have a reissue of that particular. I'm not a huge comic collector, but I do have a reissue of the Killing Joke. I loved his portrayal in The Dark Knight by Heath Ledger, a fellow West Australian who's also a similar age to me. I actually remember where I was when I found out that Heath Ledger had died. I was actually in Dubai airport on my way home from Iraq. I was in like a layover, and there was used to be an Irish pub in the Dubai airport. I don't remember what it was called, and I was in there having a couple of beers, and I was really, really upset and sad to hear about Heath Ledger's passing. Thought he was a very talented young man, a great Australian, and he's sorely missed. A wasted talent, certainly. So yeah, so the Joker is one of my all-time favourite villains. You know, not just from toys, not just from comics, just all-time favourite villain. But when it comes to the Mego toy line, I've got another figure that I do particularly like, and that's the Green Goblin. I know I had this guy out last week, but I love the Green Goblin as well. Chris Mewa, love Heath's work, great actor and person he was. Yeah. I actually, I wouldn't say I met him. No, because I didn't meet him. Because I lived for many years in Perth, and that's where he's from. He would always return and visit his family, and I believe at one point he was dating. I don't remember the actress's name now. My brain doesn't work in the morning. He was dating another Hollywood actress at the time. This is a number of years ago. And I was queuing up to get into a nightclub. I was in my early 20s. Probably had gel in my hair and earrings or something. I don't know. I was queuing up for a nightclub, and he got the VIP treatment and walked straight past us at the front of the queue and into the nightclub. There you go. King Eric the Great the First. Does the Green Goblin come with accessories like flaming pumpkins, etc.? No, he doesn't. The only accessory he's got is his satchel there for his pumpkin bombs, but he doesn't actually have pumpkin bombs. Mego never gave their action figures too many accessories. Not in the superheroes lineup anyway. Kieran Ball says DC Comics are making a sequel to Killing Joke with a 3-issue miniseries called The Three Jokers. Oh, that's That's really interesting. I like that title. I'll have to check that out. John Baldry says it's his second favourite Batman movie. You mean The Dark Knight is your second favourite? What's your favourite Batman movie? SAS, Black and Yellow Hotness. Yeah, the Action Force SAS line. Yes, John Kenny, Mego were the trendsetters in American action figures. So, who haven't we talked about yet? You guys have probably seen Cobra Commander before. My favourite version of Cobra Commander is Hooded Cobra Commander. Morning, Gracie.
Morning.
Are you off to work?
Yeah.
All right, everyone. Gracie's off to work.
You're going to come in?
Huh?
You're going to come in?
No, it's all right.
Okay, bye.
All right, see ya. Have a good day. Knight of Ren says Dark Knight is my number one Batman movie, hands down. I think so. For me, it's For me, it's either The Dark Knight or I actually am very fond of Batman Begins as well. They are both up there for me. King Eric the Great the First. You guys work early. Yeah, me and Grace, when we work, so I don't work often on a Friday. I only do 4 days a week, but I do longer days than Grace. So we actually work at the same company now. Grace has been there about 5 or 6 weeks now. So we get up at the same time in the morning. We leave home at 5:30. We get to work about 20 to 6. It's only 10 minutes down the road. And then basically Grace works from 6 to 2:30. And I work roughly from 6 to 4:30 each day. So I do longer days, but then it gives me an extra day off. I normally take either a Monday or a Friday off and just do 4 days a week. So, what do I do? That American kids ask, what do I do for a job? So I'm a mechanical fitter by trade. I fix machinery, and I work for a big mining company. I haven't actually been on the tools swinging spanners for a number of years. I became a technical officer, then I kind of went into health and safety for a bit, and I've now been offered a new role, which I'm actually trying to kind of figure out what it is, but I'm pretty excited. I'm staying with the same company, but starting a new role in the next couple of weeks, so that'll be my third job in 6 months, all with the same company, so... yeah, Hooded Cobra Commander. I like this version because that's the action figure I had when I was a kid. I had the mail away Hooded Cobra Commander. I never had the chrome face. I do like the chrome face Cobra Commander, don't get me wrong. But my preference is for Hooded Cobra Commander. I also think he appeared in the best Action Force Weekly comics. It was, you'd see the Hooded Cobra Commander would appear more often. Patton's asking, did I watch Knight Rider? Yes, I did watch Knight Rider. I love Knight Rider. I love Knight Rider. I love Street Hawk. I love Airwolf. I love A-Team. What other 80s shows did I watch? A lot of them centred on vehicles, eh? Yeah. all of them had a signature vehicle. Rob the Timekeeper says a gravel pit like Fred Flintstone. No, so I work for a mining company, but I don't actually work at the mine. The company I work for, we export bulk iron ore to China for the steel factories to make steel. And I don't work at the mine. I actually work at the port facility where we load the ships with the iron ore. There you go. Hooded Cobra Commander is like him. In his evening wear, helmeted Cobra Commander looks great with Cobra Troopers. Yeah, this is probably more for his planning meetings, and then the mirror face helmeted guy is probably more the battle look of Cobra Commander, I suppose. I've got a few other toys down here that are villains to show you as well. Captain Beefcake, yeah, the Fall Guy. I used to love that show. I used to watch that show in the 80s as well. Yeah. King Eric the Great the First. Why was his face always hidden? You talking about Cobra Commander? I don't know. Maybe he was ugly. The Emperor, I'm assuming you mean from Star Wars. I only wanted to pick like one character from each franchise, and it's got to be Darth Vader for me, not the Emperor. Darth Vader as he appeared in Star Wars, the first movie, not A New Hope, because that's not what it's called. It's called Star Wars. Unless you're a superhero, a cape is not good in a fight. I've never tried to fight in a cape, but I'll take your word for it. Shockwave is my favourite Transformers villain, says Christopher Tippett. I think a few people would agree with you there, Christopher. I'm going to move a few of these guys out of the way quickly. I'm not going to get to my box yet. I just got some other stuff to show you. Megatron was a Walter P38. That's correct. He was, or is, is. You know, I have issues like that when I write scripts. Was, is, you know. I think Darth Vader was in every toy box at some point. Yes, I agree. Okay. How could we have a favourite villain and not have Freddy Krueger? This is the Matchbox released Max Effects Freddy Krueger from A Nightmare on Elm Street, released in... Does it have a year on here? I think this came out in like 88 or something like that. Keith Holmesley, I have that Freddy Krueger figure. Yeah, it's pretty cool, isn't it, Keith? It was a very interesting concept, Max Effects. If anyone doesn't know about this particular toy line, I did a Toy Histories episode on it years back at the start of my channel. You will notice that the audio and video quality of that is not great, but you know, if you can put up with the lower quality video, I do think I do got to tell the story of the Max Effects toy line pretty well. Luis Garcia says, my friend, excellent work you do on your channel. Congratulations and greetings from Querétaro, is that it? Is that how you pronounce it? From Mexico. Well, thank you very much, Luis. Scuba Pete, oh man, I took Leslie to a Freddy movie on our first date. That's, well, it obviously worked out for you, Pete, in the end. Maybe it wasn't a bad choice. That's a very rare Freddy figure. No, I don't think it's that rare. I think these turn up fairly often, and you can pick them up reasonably priced. I would love though if you see that on the back there. They never made any of these others, but they had plans. So Max Effects, he was supposedly a special effects guy who could transform into these different movie characters. But when he did that, he would take on their powers. And if you see that picture on the back there, they also had plans to do an alien version, a Dracula, Frankenstein, but the line was not successful and Matchbox did away with it. So, but an interesting toy, something I'm quite pleased to have in my collection. And if you hadn't seen it before, I just thought I'd show you again. So, Satyrus, Freddy looks like my ex-mother-in-law. Yeah, okay. So that's Freddy now. Now, I know when we talked about the Emperor before, I said only one pick per franchise, but I had to pick two for this one. So, definitely my favourite villain figure from the $6 Million Man is Maskatron. Jam-packed with play value, with accessories. If you look at the back of the box there. Kevin Kelly's asking, is he 10 inch? Sorry, are you talking about this figure or were you talking about the Freddy? The Freddy is about 10 inches, yes. 9 or 10 inches, I think. So, awesome box. I love the boxes on these. So yeah, I kind of cheated a bit with this pick because This is my favourite villain figure, as in toy figure from the $6 Million Man. But my favourite villain character has to be the Bionic Bigfoot. Quite a rare figure to get. Not a very exciting figure. You know, you look at the play value that was packed into Maskatron with his articulation, his different arm attachments. He could all blow up. You could shoot his legs off, his arms off, his head off. He had different masks. He had a cloth costume. And then you get this guy who's got moving arms, moving legs, so he can sit, and one exploding chest panel, which you press that button there, and the chest panel. The reason that didn't come out is I'm actually holding it in with a bit of sticky tack so it stops falling off when it's on the shelf. Imperial Holocron, I wonder how many big kids had Bigfoot instead of Chewbacca. Yeah. When Kenner made the Star Wars large size action figures, they actually took this mold for the Bionic Bigfoot, resculpted the head, molded him in a different colour, and made it Chewbacca. So if you recognise the stature and the legs and the arms, it's because it's from Chewbacca. Well, this guy came first, so they copied this to make Chewbacca. There's a bit of dirt there I need to clean out. But a great character, played by, in the TV show, played by two different actors. I think originally was Andre the Giant, and then Ted Cassidy. So, Scuba Pete says, yes, I can't believe it was mostly off a Chewbacca mould. The Chewbacca mould came off the Bigfoot mould. The Bigfoot came first. I prefer that version of Bigfoot compared to the modern 8-inch version. Yes, completely agree. The Bionic Bigfoot. Mattel Dr. Steel was a cool villain from the Big Jim range of figures. Great head sculpt. Have you ever done a video of Big Jim? No, I haven't done a video of Big Jim. I would love to do one day, and I probably will do a Big Jim video one day, even though I don't collect Big Jim. But the reason I will make a video one day is I have a good friend down in Perth who we actually met through toy collecting. I met Neil when I was 20, so I've known him more than half my life now. I've known him for 22 years. And he's got not a huge Big Jim collection, but a very high-end Big Jim collection with some really nice pieces. And one day when I spend enough time down in Perth, I will be filming his collection to make a Big Jim video. Bigfoot is Chewbacca's father-in-law. Yeah, maybe. Big Jim was called Mark Strong in the UK. Yeah. All right, guys. I think we've gone through all the toys that I had here to show you today. A lot of which have appeared on the channel before. You've seen it before, but it's always good to jump on and have a chat with you guys. Before we wrap up, I want to show you my eBay purchase, and it's quite interesting, really, because this just turned up late yesterday. Because this is a villain as well. It was not planned like that. So George Aitken suggested this topic of Tony's favourite villains. I've probably got a lot more favourite villains than this, but these are just the ones that I have in toy form. When I think about my favourite villains, really, from comics, obviously the Joker, but I'm trying to think from Marvel comics. I mean, the Winter Soldier, but he's a bit like Storm Shadow, you know. He flits from Hydra to the Avengers and etc. But I think the Winter Soldier is a pretty good character, and that's a great film. But yeah, so this is an eBay purchase. Turned up yesterday, and I thought I'd just hold off on opening it till today because there's a villain character in here. Anyone want to have a guess who's in this box? It's a villain character, and it's from Masters of the Universe. Does anyone want to have a guess? Oh, Knight of Ren, yeah. He says Doctor Doom, Thanos, Baron Zemo, Magneto. Yeah, Doctor Doom would probably be my favourite Marvel villain. And I think the only good way to get him, or not even probably a good way, the only way to get him in vintage toy form, I think, would be from Mattel's Secret Wars. But that wasn't the best line. So we've got a lot of guesses here. Triclops, Lashor, Hordak, Faker. Triclops, Stinkor, Scareglow, Beastman, Faker. Is it Hordak? Let's find out. I know what it is, but I hope so. What if I open this and it's something completely different, like tennis balls or something that Gracie's bought? I'm pretty sure it is what I think it is. Come on. So the eBay seller. Oh, this is not what I thought it was. Damn it. Sorry, guys. Alright, so for those of you who are throwing out all these suggestions, I thought this was Triclops. Because I've got a number of things coming from eBay at the moment. And the tracking number on this box I didn't recognise. I checked eBay, I didn't recognise it. It didn't look like it had come from overseas. It looked like it had come from within Australia, but they obviously must have changed the label in Australia, which they did. So I thought it was Triclops. This is actually something I've bought from the States, but let's get it out anyway. Alright, here we go. There. Can you see that? It's a truly surprise unboxing. Yeah, it is. So that is the what did he call it? Yeah, the main weapon from the G.I. Joe headquarters. I have plans of repainting this all black so I can fit it to my Z-Force headquarters down there. John Kenny says you should open boxes with your Sword of Power. Yeah. Yes, it's the front gun off the command center because I recently picked up the Action Force Z-Force command center, which is the same as the G.I. Joe one but in different colours. But it's missing a lot of the accessories, so I purchased a number of the accessories in different lots. This is one of the lots. I think I only paid like $20 for this thing, and then probably paid $30 for shipping or something like that. But oh well, Triclops is still in the mail somewhere. So, but at least I can now add that to my Z-Force command center later this morning. It's a hand phaser, yeah, phaser gun. All right, guys, that's pretty much going to wrap up the live stream today. So once again, thank you all for checking out my latest video, making it a success. It's been a real big hit. The response has been fantastic. Definitely go and check out a photograph that Michael has just put on the Retro Blasting community page, which clearly shows that Storm Shadow and Firefly's heads are not the same sculpt. And if you would like to sponsor me in the push-up challenge, you'll see a video that'll come later today. I'm literally going to finish this, have a cup of tea, and then go and get that video edited and get it uploaded for you guys. So, and then I'm probably going to work on a ROM video next. And then next weekend, Action Force Part 4. I've got some other stuff. I'm working on acquiring all the toys that I need for Masters of the Universe, my collector's guide to 1983. I believe the only things I haven't... So I don't have everything in hand now, but I've recently purchased the Attack Track, Point Dread, Triclops is on his way in the post. I think all I need left to get from 1983 is Evelyn and Screech. So once I acquire the rest of those toys, I'll be doing my Masters of the Universe Collector's Guide to 1983. What else have I got planned? A lot of stuff, guys. A lot of stuff. Probably another live stream. Not next week, maybe the week after. If you guys like this time slot, although it's an early start for me, this is something that I think I can do regularly. If you like this Thursday, which it's Thursday night for a lot of you guys, if you like this time slot, like 9:30 p.m. in the UK, 4:30 p.m. on the east coast of Australia, let me know. Leave me a comment. Send me an email. I think a lot of people are saying this time slot works good. Blue Harvest Vintage Toys. No, make it half hour later. Blue Harvest Vintage Toys. Does this clash with your live stream? Because half an hour later would be better for me. Like 5 o'clock. It's only half an hour, but it's a big difference between 5 o'clock and 4:30 in the morning, potentially. But yeah, guys, flick me an email, send me a Facebook message, write a comment on this video. But yeah, I think maybe moving forward, we'll start doing the live streams at this particular time. Just don't expect Gracie to appear on another one because although she gets up fairly early, she would not ever do a live stream at 4:30 in the morning. It takes her a while to get out of her grumpiness in the morning. I'm more of a morning person than she is, so... Jody says, rolling around on the floor laughing at Blue Harvest Vintage Toys. Analog Toys. Blue Harvest is just bumped out. He loses me the last half hour on his trip. Ah, okay. So Blue Harvest Vintage Toys is losing people for the last half hour of their stream because of mine. Okay. I'll have a chat with the guys. Maybe I can move mine. Yeah, let me know what you think. Keith Holmesy says 5 is good for him. Finish at 10 p.m. I think we can do that. I think we can do 5 p.m. Is 10 p.m. too late for you guys in the UK, or 11 p.m. in where you are, Jody? Obviously better than when I used to do them at 7 a.m. here, which was like midnight or 1 a.m. for a lot of people in Europe. So anyway, I've waffled enough. Also, guys, send me some suggestions for other live stream topics, and I'll put another poll out on the Patreon. And if you guys would like to vote on the poll and vote on the discussion topic of the next live stream, you need to join the Patreon. And hang out with some other awesome people like Scuba Pete and Jody and Chris Mewa and that kind of thing. So, cool. All right, guys. Have a wonderful weekend and go do some push-ups, eh? Let's raise some mental health awareness. All right. See you later, guys.